and he used to freak Christians out. He said, what a awesome person it was who decided to take the shit job. God said, okay, we got to have bad and good. Who's going to take the shit job?
Yeah.
Who's going to be the one that everybody hates? It's going to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
And Lucifer, the whole thing about Lucifer got more pride than God and trying to rise up against him. If God made you, and you're not even omnipresent. You're only immortal. God's everywhere. How in the world do you think the devil would rise up against something that's omnipresent and expect to win?
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter if he had a billion souls under his belt. If God's omnipresent, if God created everything, well then he didn't stand a chance. So it doesn't make any sense sometimes. It's very bizarre. If you have to be evil to get money, then it's not worth it. So that's why I'm a Christian, because I believe in their values. I like the way that they treat people. I don't like all the wars for religion, but some of the stuff that Jesus said about, that he's without sin cast the first stone. I feel like that'd be everybody. There's some good things in there that I live my life by. I can't condemn anybody. I can't judge anybody. Look at my past. Oh my God. All these sacrifices and martyrism, I don't understand it. Why in the world would you have to be a martyr to get in touch with your God? I understand there's good and evil, and there has to be a balance in this world. And otherwise, we wouldn't know what good was. Because it was all good. Probably pretty boring, I guess. Everybody seems to think that. I don't know. The more I know, the less I know. I just think that there has to be a balance, and that's understandable. Because otherwise, you wouldn't. If you didn't have there's a quote by Khalil Gibran that says, "How must my heart be unsealed lest it be broken?" If you don't know what pain is, you wouldn't know what joy was. It is true. The deeper pain carves into your heart, the more joy it can contain. So there's a balance between everything. That's the only reason why I guess I say I'm a Christian, because the God I worship doesn't believe all this shit. It's all this pomp and circumstance crap. He created everything. He's the magnetic field that Einstein talks about. He holds everything together, and man is constantly misquoting him. I know that the Bible was written by the inspired hand of God, and it's applicable for those times. It's applicable to these times now. It says in John, where Jesus says, I can't quote it exactly, but I was watching some stuff about it. Jesus says, if you could see through the one eye, you would see the world as God sees. I'm not sure what it says. I'd have to look it up, but it all ties together. And it just makes it's crazy that this world is so full of pain, and that's not my God. Definitely not my God. If you got to kill somebody to get things in this world, I guess I'll stay the way I am. I'm not gonna. It'd be great to be rich and have all that kind of stuff and get all that kind of power, but or not power, but I don't know. I think the ultimate thing in this world is love. I think it's stronger than anything in this world. I just think that we got some things really, really wrong about religion. We underestimate God. The person who made all this experience to come down to be creators on this earth. It ain't all about wars and this religion's right, this religion's right, this one's wrong. And
no, man, it's about
it's not. It's definitely not about that. If that's the case, we're putting such a lid on God, and we're saying He's infinite and all this kind of stuff. Well, if He's infinite, think about this. If you are immortal, this lifetime is it's done. People that are immortal live these lifetimes over and over and over and over and over. How intelligent do you think they are? And here we are, mortals, saying this is the way it's supposed to be, like we know. We read the Bible and we interpret it the way we want to interpret it. My grandmother's read the Bible like 20-something times. She said every time she read it, she got a different interpretation from it, a higher interpretation from it. There's God in this wood. This is a miracle in itself. Not with the carving, but just look at all the stuff in the wood. And that's one thing, you see God in everything. I see God in everything. The grass vibrates and the trees are vibrating and everything looks totally different. Like everything's just so alive. There's all these miracles that happened back in the day. And I know now, we may be a little more intelligent species, maybe not, but we can justify a lot of the modern miracles. But, that's all I'm asking for. I want to see a sign. People say, don't test God's will. But was it too unrealistic to ask for a sign? See somebody walk across the water, see somebody walk through a wall, something that's miraculous, not something that can be explained through science. Because then it's not miraculous anymore. It's been explained. And everything's been explained. The whole world's kind of just about money.
Well, God could have really explained it.
When I was a kid, I was in geometry in 3rd grade, and I used to always ask my grandmother, who made God? And because I was raised with my grandparents, and she'd say, well, God's always been and always will be. He was made, no one made him, he's always been, he's infinite. And I didn't really understand that. And I was in geometry one day, and the teacher was on the chalkboard, she drew a line, she goes, here's a line. It's not infinite because it has an ending and it has a beginning. I'm like, okay, it's kind of like man. We were born and we die. And she says, but if you take this line and you make a circle out of it and touch both ends together, now it's infinite. This is. There's no end. There is no beginning. I mean, this light went off in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I figured out who God is. So I go back. I get up from school. I go back to my grandmother, and I pull her aside, and I go, Grandma, I got to show you something. I got to show you something. I go, see this line? I'm gonna draw this line. I go, this is like man. This is who we are. We were born and we died. She goes, yeah. And I go, if you take this same line and you make a circle out of it and you touch both ends together, that's God, because there's no end, there is no beginning. She says, yeah. I said, it's infinite, right? I says, just like God, no end, no beginning. She says, yeah. I said, who drew that circle? And she flipped out. She's like, oh no, you can't go back to that school anymore. It's like, why would you? It's like it's a sin to question God. It's a sin to question who made him, and then who made that, and who made that. That's my biggest thing. I want to know who made God, and I want to know who made that, and who made that. Go up the stream to the very source, and then when you get to that very source, find out what made that. I mean, that's been my burning desire ever since I was probably in third grade, is wanting to know who made everything.